I am Dr. Ruchika Verma, a postdoctoral fellow in Department of Psychology, University of Allahabad, is going to present a module on body image, which is written by Ms. Ramaya Anand, who is an independent consultant in Tamil Nadu. This module has been written to discuss about body image and its effect on adolescent health. Body image is comparatively a recent concept in the area of women's studies, and that is why it needs proper coverage in this context also. Some of the important factors which are identified in the present module are impact on what is the meaning of body image, what are the factors which decide an individual's body image, how adolescent girls perceive their body image, then what is the impact on girls, women in particular, what are the risk factors, how various eating disorders are associated with eating disorders, and how it affects beauty business and diet industry, and it does have a psychological effect on the self-esteem of a person, and what are the basic things which can be done to create a positive body image. The body image is technically defined as a person's perception of the aesthetics or sexual attractiveness of their own body. The phrase body image was first coined by the Australian neurologist and psychoanalyst Paul Sclater in his book The Image and Appearance of the Human Body in the year 1935. Body image, what actually it means? It means that a person forms of their body in their mind based on feelings and judgments, and sometimes it is different than what we see in the mirror. It basically includes what a person believes about himself or herself, his appearance, including his memories, assumptions and generalization. Secondly, it also includes the feelings about the body, including your height, shape and weight. And also it includes a sense and control as you move, the movement of the body, how you feel when your body is not just your body. Generally, the issue of body image came into notice when it was found that women perceive body image in a more negative sense. What is the meaning of negative body image? A distorted perception of your shape, your perceived parts of your body unlike they really are. Basically, negative body image includes a distortion in the perception of the body shape. The person is convinced that only other people are attractive and that my own body or shape is a sign of personal failure. We feel ashamed, self-conscious and anxious about our own body and uncomfortable with our own body. So, a negative body image develops and the person is not happy with his own body image. In contrast, positive body image refers to a clear, true perception of your shape and how a person sees the various parts of your body as they really are. The person is more realistically and accept how the body is, how his or her own body is. He celebrate and appreciate the natural body shape and understand that a person's physical appearance says very little about their character and value as a person. The person feels proud and accepting of his own unique body and refuse to spend an unreasonable amount of time worrying about food, weight and calories. The person feels comfortable and confident with his body. So, this is a positive body image in which, so the terms positive and negative doesn't mean anything negative or positive interpretation of the body, but it actually means the real and unreal perception of the body. So, real perception of the body is a positive image and unrealistic demands from the body is negative perception of the body. Now, the second concept which is included in the module is puberty and development. Since puberty is the time when the body image changes, some people struggle with their self-esteem and body image when they begin puberty because it's a time when the body goes through many changes. These changes are combined with some social factors such as acceptance by friends, tempting to compare themselves with others and lots of peer pressure to meet the level or standards in which the peer group is moving. Adolescence is an age group in which the body image plays a very important role. It is a time of rapid and intense emotional and physical changes, and there is an increased value placed on peer acceptance and approval. There is a heightened attention to external influences and social messages about cultural norms. So, there are a lot of socio-cultural factors operating in the lives of adolescents who help, who decide a person's perception of adolescent's perception of body image. So, it is very important to give importance to give significantly importance to the perception of an adolescent's body. How do we shape our body image? This is a very important concept that needs to be understood. People's body images do not develop in isolation. They are influenced by those around and our culture. Families and friends convey to us positive and negative messages regarding our bodies continuously, virtually, as soon as we are born. Then another factor which has a lot of impact on a person's body image is media. It plays a powerful role in shaping gender norms and body satisfaction. Early teenage is a period when teenagers are they are lot affected by the celebrities and media images, as well as how other kids look and how we fit in. They want to fit in existing molds and the pictures shown in media, so that to raise their self-esteem. They might start to compare themselves with other people or media images. All of this can affect how they feel about themselves, but gradually they, instead of having a positive self-image, they gradually start developing a negative image also. Family and school are two major agencies which play a very important role. In a world where body dissatisfaction begins at such a young age, in kids, the influence of parents and other trusted adults cannot be undervalued. Positive dialogue about the body is truly impactful. Some parents or elders might be too focused on looking a certain way. For example, parents unintentionally, many times they pass comments on their child's body which can have significant impact on the child's perception of body image. The person's self-esteem is also affected, especially if they are sensitive to other people's comments. People also may experience negative comments and hurtful teasing about the way they look from their inmates and peers, although these often come from some significant people in the life, and sometimes they can affect body image and self-esteem also. Now, what is self-image? Self-image does play a very important role, and media, social and peer pressures influence the way teens see themselves. All these three pressures help and influence the self-perception of teenagers. Their mental perception of what they look like can become distorted, leading them to engage in risk behavior when they feel they don't measure, they are not up to the mark, and it becomes impossible for them to meet the standards, meet the certain level of satisfaction which they want to have. Self-image issues can lead to eating disorders, drug and alcohol use, and cutting, bullying and sexual addictions. These are some devastating effects of negative body image. Now, how it affects the model which is presented here is explaining that how various agencies like television, magazines, internet, activities and appearance conversation, which is more of a socio-cultural variable, all these factors interact and result in formation of self-objectification. Self-objectification is a process in which a person sees himself as an object, and that has been assessed and evaluated by a number of agencies. What is the impact of negative body image? 1 in 5 women struggle with an eating disorder or disordered eating. A most important significant outcome of negative body images, according to National Institute of Mental Health guide, that women is tremendous. There is a tremendous increase in the in the percentage of women suffering with eating disorders. What is an eating disorder? Eating disorder can be anorexic, it can be bulimic, and it can be binge eating disorder and their variants. All feature serious disturbances in eating behavior and weight regulation. They are associated with a wide range of adverse psychological, physical and social consequences. A person with an eating disorder may start out just eating smaller or larger amounts of food, but at some point their urge to eat less or more spirals out of control. Severe distress or concern about body weight and shape or extreme efforts to manage weight or food intake also characterize an eating disorder. So, depending on the pattern, whether it is bulimic, anorexic or binge eating, it depends what kind of symptoms will be demonstrated by the child. Now, what is an anorexic nervosa, or which is a most common kind of eating disorder? In this, the persons see themselves as overweight even when they are clearly underweight. So, there is a clear indication of negative body image that the person is underweight, but he or she is perceiving himself as overweight, and eating, food and weight control become obsession. The whole life throughout the day is focused around the person's focus is completely on ways to eat, food and weight control. These are the three things on which the person is focusing his or her life. The second pattern is bulimia nervosa, which includes recurrent and frequent episodes of eating unusually large amounts of food and feel a lack of control over these episodes. This binge eating is followed by behavior that compensates for the overeating, such as forced vomiting, excessive use of laxative or diuretics, fasting, excessive exercise or a combination of these behaviors, in which the person normally eat large amount of food and then there is an effort, there are a lot of efforts to remove food from the body. The third pattern is binge eating disorder. People with this kind of disorder lose control over their eating. Unlike bulimia nervosa, periods of binge eating are not under control, and compensatory behaviors like purging, excessive exercise or fasting is also there. Now, how the person's sexual health is affected by body image? There is a very close association between a person's sexual health and body image. Teenagers especially, who lack knowledge about sexual health and who do not feel accepted and supported by their loved ones, are more likely to follow the crowd. They are more likely to engage in risky sexual behavior and experience unintended pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases. They are also more likely to use drugs, perform poorly in school and have low self-esteem. One of the most important things we can do for our children is to learn to talk to them about sex, because the sexual health can be improved only with the awareness of the fact. What is the impact of body image on girls and women? Images of female body are everywhere. With women and girls, their body parts selling everything from food to cars, and popular film and television actresses are becoming younger, taller and thinner. Women's magazines are full of articles urging that if you can just lose those last 20 pounds, you will have it all: the perfect marriage, loving children, great sex and a rewarding career. The life of a woman is confined to the body image, how she looks, for whom she wants to look good, and how she can meet the standards which are portrayed in media and other places. These beauty standards largely proliferate through the media, have drastic impacts on, especially on young women and their body images. And these messages are so powerful and widespread in the culture that they affect girls long before they are exposed to fashion or beauty magazines. 3 years old already prefer game pieces that depict thin people over those representing heavier ones. So, right from the childhood, the children are socialized to fit in the already existing beautiful bodies, and all the toys, dolls and everything looks so beautiful, and no place for body which is not acceptable or which is not in the trend. The next is, what is the feminist perspective on physical appearance? Objectification theory is heavily influenced by feminist philosophy, arguing that ubiquitous sexual objectification of women leads women to internalize objectification reflected in self objectification, because it's a vicious circle. Because first women see that she has been objectified and is perceived by the society in that way only, and once the women start seeing herself as an object, then gradually she, in order to satisfy in most of her roles, she self objectify herself also. This process of self objectification puts women at risk for negative emotional experiences, including body shame, which in turn increases the risk for eating disorders, depression and sexual dysfunction. It has been noticed in the cases of many women that obesity and depression are very closely related, because gradually once the women perceive herself to be non-attractive and not very beautiful, gradually she comes in the feelings of depression. In addition to the thinness expected of women, it has been found that there is increased sexualization of women in the culture. They are encouraged to manipulate their bodies to try to achieve unrealistic beauty ideals associated with thinness and sexiness, because they have been promoted more in our society. Also, we see that men are not promoted, but women are promoted to reach at a certain level of standard to make their body as attractive as possible. Now, how a person can improve body image? Having negative body image is not only bad for our health, it is also incredibly time consuming and a waste of time. Normally, it has been seen that due to negative body image, person is obsessed with his or her body image and spend time in thinking hours and hours about how to correct body image, keeping in mind those virtual models which actually doesn't exist. In this digital world, all things which are reflected in media are manipulated by most of the technical processes. It is important to remember that one cannot change some aspects of our experience. Our height, muscle and bone structure are determined by the genes. This is the way one was born, and it is simply unrealistic and frustrating to think about those parts of the body which cannot be changed. So, there is no right or wrong when it comes to the body shape or appearance. Everybody is different in body, physical appearance, and we can celebrate this diversity and individuality. Now, there are certain questions which there are question messages in the media that so many pictures these days are photoshopped to the point where those body shapes are impossible to achieve. They are comparing ourselves with those unrealistic images is only going to be futile. So, media is playing a very critical role in this, and it is very important that we should love ourselves, focus on the positive qualities like skills and talents and what our body can do rather than on how one looks. Appreciating and respecting all the things it can do will help us to feel more positive about it. To find one's own style, that is also very important to develop a positive body image, because one must wear what is comfortable and what looks good on you. When we feel that we are comfortable in what we are wearing, the body image will improve. But especially in Indian culture, we have seen that lot of times women are bound to wear certain clothes in which although they are not comfortable, but they have to wear such clothes, and as a result it becomes a compulsion for them. Then it is also very important that if we want to develop a positive body image, we should also learn to always avoid criticizing other people's body, because when we make fun of other people for their looks, we end up feeling crap about ourselves. Making someone else feel bad or ashamed about what they look like will demotivate them. And also there should be a sensible eating. We should have a sensible eating plan, so that and that should be followed on a regular basis, so that the obesity should not reach to the extent that it becomes it should have a harmful effect on the health of a person. So, it is very important that people should learn to develop positive self image and discourage the negative aspects of body image. Thank you so much.